Hey guys, it's your girl T, and I want to go ahead and shout out JT of VH1 Access. JT wants to know my opinion on this crazy story. Once again, Minnesota madness is back in the national news. So what happened is that a 9-year-old boy, he decided to basically go from the Minneapolis airport. He flew via Delta American Airlines all the way to Las Vegas, Nevada. This story was all over the Twin Cities. My kids were the first one actually who told me about this story. They're like, Mom, did you hear about the 9-year-old who flew from Minneapolis to Vegas? And I was like, what? And then I started hearing this story and I started seeing the news reports. It's insane. This kid is off the chain. Basically, he was able to fool TSA. He was able to get on the plane. They did not realize until he got to Vegas that he was not on the unaccompanied minors list. Well, yesterday the father decided to talk to the news. There's been a lot of speculation as to who this kid is, who his family is. Most people knew was that he was from the north side. And the north side of Minneapolis is a predominantly black area. That's where more that's like more the hood area. Mainly black folks. A lot of people automatically assumed that it was a black kid, but people weren't really sure. Now the father is out here talking, and it's been confirmed that this child is of African American descent. So I'm going to go ahead and play you guys a news clip, and then I just have to come back with the rest of my commentary. Go ahead and check it out.
Only on WCCO tonight, the father of the boy who sneaked aboard a plane to Las Vegas says he is frustrated with airport security.
My son is not a terrorist. He's a 9-year-old, misunderstood, but very intelligent young man.
Last week, his son got through several security checkpoints at MSP International Airport and onto a flight without a ticket. The 9-year-old is still in Las Vegas right now while child protection investigators figure out what to do next. The stowaway's father did not want to show his face to protect his son's identity, but he did want to tell WCCO's Reg Chapman that he feels like he and his family are being made scapegoats for airport security's mistakes.
I love my son. I want my son home.
It's been too long since his father has held his 9-year-old son. They are separated by 1,000 miles after his son left their North Minneapolis home last week, rode light rail to the airport, slipped past security, and hopped a plane to Las Vegas.
My son is not a terrorist. He's a 9-year-old, misunderstood, but very intelligent young man.
The boy's father says he doesn't know why his son went to Las Vegas, but he says he has had issues in the past.
I don't have an angel, okay? I have a 9-year-old. To me, he's got a behavior problem.
Dad says he and the boy's mother have asked for help. They want counseling for their son.
I don't know what to do. I love my son. I'm not giving up on my son. He's just confused. So can anyone please help me?
And he says he and his fiancée are not bad parents. When their son disappeared last Wednesday, they figured he went to a friend's house. When he didn't come home, they called police the next day.
We didn't know our son went up to the airport, got past security check, got on the plane. We didn't know that.
Both the Transportation Security Administration and Delta Airlines have said they are investigating how this happened.
The boy's father also said he's been trying to get his son some help since he was just 5 years old. Now, just a day before he vanished last week, police say the 9-year-old stole this delivery truck from a noodle company in Minneapolis. They say he drove it through the city and down Interstate 35W before crashing about 10 miles away. When his joyride was over, investigators say the boy had hit a number of cars, including an Edina police car.
Oh, I'm getting phone calls like, oh, your truck hit my car, and like, do you know him? Is this your employees? And I go like, oh, I just getting all this phone calling every day.
The boy's father told us he is grateful no one was hurt. The child is too young to be charged with stealing the truck. Once he is back in Minnesota, the courts will decide if he should be put in juvenile detention or what kind of care he needs.
Okay, so you guys just watched the news clip, and you know, while I feel bad for this father in a way, you know, he seems to have his hands full. This little boy is off the chain. If he's doing all this, if he's been getting in trouble like this since he was 5, there's something going on in the household. Before he snuck onto the airplane and flew to Vegas, the little boy stole a delivery truck. He crashed into several cars. This was in the paper. Nobody knew at the time that it was the same kid. On top of that, he's been in trouble for curfew violations. DSS has been investigating his family for a while. So it seems like there's a lot of things going on in the household. Now, for the father to say that he had no idea where his child was at, he assumed his child was at his friend's house spending the night, that doesn't sit well with me, because this child is 9 years old. He's not 19. There should be no assumption when it comes to your 9-year-old child. I can't go just 24 hours without seeing my kid and not knowing where the hell he's at. It's not like this happened on the weekend. This was during the week. So even if he went to go spend the night at his friend's house on a Tuesday, how do you not know if your child made it to school that Wednesday? There was no communication. My kids cannot just go spend the night at anybody's house, and I haven't met the parents. I haven't talked to the parents in advance, and the parents don't know that I'm coming and that my child's coming. I don't understand that. And I've had parents do that to me. You know, like my son will plan stuff with his friends, and then all of a sudden the parent will show up with their kid, and it's like, hold up. Nah, he's not spending the night. You never called me and talked to me. Oh, well, your son said it was okay. My son don't pay no bills in this household. This is T's house. This ain't his household. He can't dictate who can come over and who can spend the night unless you talk to me, the adult, the person running the household. Nah, this whole situation is null and void. And it just surprises me how cool parents are with that, how parents allow kids to plan stuff, and all they do is just come and drop their kids off. I mean, I've had this happen with several different parents where literally they dropped the kid off and drove off into the sunset, and the child is sitting at my doorstep with bags. I'm like, what is this? Oh, my dad said I could spend the night. But your dad didn't talk to me first. You know, like, we got to do better as parents. You can't just assume that your child is over here at Joe Schmo's house and you've never met Joe Schmo and you've never talked to them. How do you just allow your child to just go spend the night somewhere during the school week and not even verify that he's really there? You know, so this whole situation is just ratchet. It's crazy. I hope this family gets it together. This boy is still in Vegas. They're trying to decide they want to expedite him back to Minnesota or if they're going to file charges out there in Vegas. He already has a small criminal history at the age of 9. How does a 9-year-old even know how to get into a truck and start joyriding? You know, reminds me of the whole Latarian Milton situation down in Florida when Latarian stole that car and ended up, you know, hitting a bunch of cars and driving through Walmart's parking lot. You know, it's just these kids are watching so much. I guess these kids are just playing too much Grand Theft Auto because that's the only way I can understand how a 7 or a 9-year-old be able to drive. No, they say that it takes a village to raise a child, and that's very true, but it also starts in the household. You know, if they need help, then they need to make that effort to go get the help. They claim that they've been asking for help, but again, it's not just about asking. What are you doing? Are you putting him in counseling? Are you contacting juvenile services? There's so many services up here in Minnesota to help families who are going through issues and who are going through things. They need to take advantage of that because his child needs some type of counseling. There might be some, you know, chemical imbalances. He might be kind of disturbed. I don't know, but obviously the kid is a genius. He's very smart for him to come up with this plan to go to Vegas to go meet his online friends. You know, it just would have been even more comical had he made it off the plane. It's like, where was he going to go next? To Caesar's Palace and start gambling? I mean, like, where was he going to go once he got down to Vegas? Who was he in contact with? Does he have a cell phone? I mean, it boggles my mind because my son is 8 now, and he's about the same age as his 9-year-old, and I couldn't imagine him just getting on a plane by himself and flying out to Vegas. You know, so it's just crazy what kids come up with nowadays. But I think the father also has to take responsibility. You just can't blame Delta Airlines. You just can't blame the TSA. You also are at fault because you had no idea where your child was during the school week on a school night. That doesn't sit well with me. So anyways, go ahead, leave a comment, you guys. Let me know your thoughts on the entire situation. Do you feel like the father is also at fault for not knowing where his child was at? Or do you feel like it's strictly on the TSA and the Delta Airlines? And how do you feel about this story in general? So go ahead, leave a comment. All right, deuces.